In this video, I'll be revisiting some of the locations in London where I used to photograph trains back in the 1990s. I will compare how they looked then to how they look today and see how they have changed or even been lost in the intervening years. I start my journey into London on this occasion at Newbury Park. This was also my first chance to sample the newly opened Elizabeth line, which started life as the Crossrail project. The line is not yet fully open and is currently operating in 3 separate sections: Shenfield to London Liverpool Street, Abbey Wood to London Paddington, and London Paddington to either Reading or Heathrow Airport.
Central and Northern.
At Paddington, you need to catch another train at the Mainline station in order to travel further west. After departing from Paddington, the train passes the site of the former Old Oak Common traction and maintenance depot, which is in the process of being transformed into a station on the new HS2 line. Acton Mainline is now a station on the Elizabeth line network and has been refurbished, the new ticket hall, lifts and a footbridge. This is the old station building and access point to the platforms, which has now closed and been replaced by this smart looking structure. The station still offers good views of freight activity in the yard adjacent to the station. The old flight of steps leading to the platforms have now been closed. In previous years, they offered a good vantage point to photograph freight trains departing from Acton Yard. I photographed this scene from those steps in 1992. A Class 60 passes through with the 6E50 Langley to Lindsay oil tanks, while a Class 59 awaits a path with a loaded stone train. In this wider shot from 1991, a Class 121 bubble car DMU pulls into the station with a Greenford to Paddington stop-in service. In this later shot from 2015, a DCR Class 56 working the 6Z57 Calvert to Willesden Euro Terminal empty spoil passes a DB Class 59 which had arrived earlier with the 7A09 loaded stone from Merehead. Just to the east of Acton Mainline station is the busy A40 Western Avenue, which passes over the Great Western Main Line. This road bridge once offered good views of Acton Bank, which climbs away from the station towards Acton Wells Junction. After the electrification of the Great Western Main Line, the parapets of this bridge were raised, which means you can no longer easily see over them without the aid of a ladder. In 1992, a pair of Class 37s climb away from Acton Yard towards Acton Wells with the 4L65 Pengham to Felixstowe Freightliner. In 1993, a Class 47 snakes over Acton East Junction with the Spalding and Lincoln Explorer Rail Tour, operated by Pathfinder. We now move to the eastern side of the bridge. The position of the masts plus the growth of lineside vegetation have adversely affected this location. From the same spot back in 1994, a Class 47 rolls down the bank towards Acton Yard with a train of cargo wagons. It was also possible to shoot from the other end of the bridge on summer evenings. In 1992 there were still local services from London Paddington. Here a Class 47 heads west with a train bound for Twyford. We now move further east to a footbridge which crosses the line that runs south from Acton Wells Junction towards Kew. When this section of line was electrified, the bridge was fully caged in, making the previous shots possible from this location now impossible. This is the view from the top of the footbridge looking towards Acton Wells Junction through the wire mesh. Photographed from the same spot back in 1992, a Class 56 heads south with a loaded stoneworking. A year later, a Class 47 working a Leicester to Twickenham rugby charter passes the same spot. Looking south towards Kew, and the cage makes the previous shot from the footbridge steps impossible. Back in 1992, a pair of Class 50s working the Colchester Rail Tour from London Waterloo head north. Later in 1992, a pair of Class 37s head north with an oil train. Although the southbound shot from the footbridge steps is no longer possible, there is a small gap in the fence at the base of the footbridge, which it is just about possible to shoot through.